set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Matey West, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NUFC Talk. We're live with the Late Night Show here, 9:30 p.m. in the UK, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, all of you out there, for joining us. Don't forget to smash the like button if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening on the radio, welcome one and all. Don't forget that we are live on the YouTube channel as well. Look us up, NUFC Talk TV, if you want to see our mugs and see everything that we got going on, of course. And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show, I'm assuming anyway. With the mighty win, you never know. But it is what it is. It is what he ran away. He escaped. He didn't want to face the music. But he
didn't want to let us on.
No, I already told you why. It hasn't stopped you before. So anyway, smash the like button, folks. Howie, and yeah, we got Ian, we got King Kev, we got Win, and Roy should be joining us at any moment given time now. Become a member if you can. Hit the join button below for $4.99. Enjoy exclusive content and everything else. If you missed it live, you can watch it on demand, on replay. Your favorite shows 24/7. Everything coming to you if you hit the join button below. All right, so what a show. Early night show. It was a good one today. It was a good one. The big question now for this show is, can Eddie Howe turn things around? Is the big question for everyone to answer, everyone in the panel. I know it's a question that some people might say, wow, it's, of course he can. But I don't want a vague of course. Of course, anything could happen. Hell can freeze over, maybe. You know what I mean? So, but why? How? How can it happen? What needs done if it's going to happen? We certainly need that, need answers. Need to have a good discussion. So, anyway, how are you, lads? All good?
As well as can be expected under the circumstances, as we always say after a defeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. You, as Boki would say, you guys wanted this. So actually, I did too. By the way, I can't just say you guys. I did too, in a sense. I don't think he can take us any farther, but I thought it is a detriment to try to get rid of a manager. Now, I still believe that, by the way. So we got to think balanced, centered. So, but either way, it hasn't been good. It wasn't good against Brentford at all, was it, lads? Oh wait, get in.
What? Roy, come on, what you got to say, mate?
Okay, here, Roy. What's going on here? Anyway, Ian, you go on. I mean, you did the player ratings, but go on.
I will agree with you. It wasn't very good against Brentford. I thought there were flashes. We still had some players playing. Am I down a bit? Am I? I'll just bring that a bit closer. Is that any better?
A bit better.
A bit.
Hope you can hear me.
Do.
I'm going to speak the truth. We weren't very good against Brentford. I don't think we were miles off getting something from it. I thought when we equalised, we were going to go on and win it. But that was after being very disjointed, having no midfield that could control the ball. It's those chaos games. We're always in with a chance when it's chaos like that. But I think that is what I'm coming around to, having listened to people and watched game after game where we're trying to be chaotic. As soon as you find a team that's got a system that can keep hold of the ball, that can bide the time and wait to pick a pass and play through you, then you're down, aren't you? You're beaten. Got really schooled by Liverpool in the in the last 60 minutes. Schooled by Manchester United in the first half. And if we're honest, schooled for large parts of that game on Saturday when Brentford kept the ball from us. So yeah, things have got to change. I don't think Eddie Howe needs sacking. I believe him and trust him when he says, if I'm not doing it, I will leave. And I think he's drawn a line in the sand today at the press conference. He knows he's got to find some of the old Eddie Howe magic and change things around to change this. And if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll step aside. And I think that's a much more dignified way for us to change manager than go on a witch hunt and throw him out when he hasn't had a chance to change things. He's on notice that he's got to change them. I don't know what you guys thought. I was quite impressed with his
Well,
post-match interview was very honest, and today he sounded like he was ready to get to work to get things changed. How he
I
does
do
it,
appreciate.
that's Eddie Howe magic.
I do appreciate the honesty, and I actually value, as opposed to what some of the rhetoric from Win earlier on that he doesn't think is good. I actually value that and think it's good. It's good that he's honest for once. That's actually good. Now, but I'm not in the business of giving credit to is if he believes he's not the right man anymore, so he's gonna leave. I mean, that's what any. First of all, nobody's entitled to that. He's entitled to his contract. So if they want to sack him, they sack him and pay his contract. As simple as that. So he's entitled to his contract. Now, if he wants to go out as a martyr, because I felt like the early night show in the beginning was about Eddie Howe being a martyr and just leaving and doing what's best for the team and for Newcastle United and all that stuff. Well, that's cool. I mean, he can do that, but we're not gonna, as a club, to do what's best for Newcastle United. You can't wait for somebody to decide that they are no good anymore, so they're leaving. You that's not a way of running things. You got to make that assessment if you are the higher entity within that club or company or whatever. Would it be nice, of course? Yeah,
a week
of course
ago
it would be
when
nice.
he said Eddie Howe was his man. So
Well,
they're
there you
not gonna
go.
do that, are they? They're not going to.
Well, no, of course, but that's fine. They made the decision, and that's absolutely fine. They can make that decision. They're entitled to do that. But and we'll see where it goes. And I think that ultimately the right decision is to maintain Eddie Howe until the end of the season, and go on about it. But I'm giving him credit to say, when he figures out he's not the right man, he'll let us know. What kind of business? We can't run a business like that. We can't run a club like that. So, but go on there. We're going to get Kevin's take on this situation. Kevin, what do you think?
I think what he means is if he believes he's not the right man, he'll walk away. But I think any manager who's kind of done what he's done for the club, again, regardless if you're Eddie in or Eddie out, it's almost impossible to deny what he's done for us. He'll always back himself in terms of he'll think he's the best man. I personally do think he is. It's nice to see more support for Eddie now. I think it was like a minority thing. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, it has become louder and louder, and you could argue rightly so with some of the previous results. But for me, I just think personally, we haven't had confidence all season. It hasn't looked like the team has ever had full confidence, whether that's down to the manager or results not going our way or a very disrupted summer in terms of the Isak saga, as well as the Isak saga, us getting turned down by every single player we went in for, being public knowledge, not having the correct setup with the CEO and all that stuff. For me, I think he is the right man. I think over his 4 years, we've probably overperformed for 3 year, 10 month, and then for 2 months we've underperformed. So I think, again, if you look at any other job in almost any other sport, if you can overperform for 90% of your time in that job, then you are still doing an amazing job. Unfortunately, it's football. It's fickle. It changes week by week. That is just the nature of the job, I guess. But yeah, look, I think for me personally, my take on the whole Eddie Howe thing, I think at the moment it all comes down to patience with fans. I think if you get a new manager in, there'll be more patience when they make a mistake or don't change formation or don't do something different. There'll be more patience for that. Because Eddie's been there for 4 years, there's just less patience. And I saw exactly the same thing as a Newcastle fan with Sir Bobby Robson. Sir Bobby, absolute legend of the club. Nobody, no self-respecting Newcastle fan could ever say anything bad about Bobby. And he got hounded out, so to speak. And we brought in Graham Souness, and years of mediocrity followed. So,
Yeah, but
for me, go on, Chris, go on.
No, because I feel like we're trying to justify one. And again, I'm not saying that you need to sack Eddie Howe now, or even I don't think he can take it any farther. But if it comes that he can turn things around, that's fine. But I'm just we're trying to justify one thing because of something bad happened and bad decisions after.
No, I think you got
something that justifies. No, there was bad leadership up top. So they made the wrong decision to bring Graham Souness in. It's not the sacking of Bobby Robson didn't make
Yeah,
that
but
happen.
I don't think at the moment you look at our squad of players, and like I say, in the last 6 transfer windows, we've only brought players in one in terms of first team players coming in. There's only been one window in the last 6 where that's happened. Obviously, you've had a squad for a long period of time who have been together, a very small squad still, albeit one of our strongest squads in recent years. Not that takes some doing when you look at the years of neglect. I think when you look at it on paper as a businessman or as an owner, you would be looking at that thinking, unless we can get a Luis Enrique or a Pep Guardiola, and then even if you bring Pep in, you've got to chuck money at it, because Pep will bring in people like Claudio Bravo and it not work, and rather than coach him to be better, he'll just sell him. You can't do that anymore with FFP, especially, or squad cost ratios it's going to be. I think we've overperformed. I think we probably value our players a little bit higher, and I think we've been spoiled in terms of the projection. I think if we were to carry on the projection over the last 4 years, we'd be challenging for the league this year, which is just not doable. So there was always going to be a plateau. I think taking a step back and taking the emotion out of it, which is very hard to do as Newcastle fans, I think it's almost, for me, a case of, we'll see where we are in the summer, depending on how the season ends. We'll have a look and potentially see who's available. But yeah, for me, Eddie, like I say, for 90-95% of his whole time here, has overperformed, and a little bit of underperformance for me doesn't justify getting rid of a manager.
Roy, what is your stance? I've seen you extremely busy on X. You've making it a job of yours to respond to everybody that backs Eddie Howe, which is your personal, of course, your own personal decision. But so what do you make of this whole situation then? Because one thing I think my opinion is that PIF will not sack him, PIF or whoever's in charge, because of many things that are said. The CEO, as Ian was saying, backs him publicly. Everybody backs him publicly, and nothing really leads for anything to happen. But what do you make of this whole situation right now?
Well, we are where we are because of 2 reasons: what's happening on the pitch and what's happening off the pitch. So what's happening off the pitch, when your sporting director comes and says your transfer policy is not fit for purpose, and then suddenly he disappears. There's one. So I don't want to explain what's happened. We all know what's happened. Who got rid of him? Who's running the show? Who did all that mess in the summer? I'm not blaming FFP, PSR, or KGB, or CIA. I'm not blaming any of these. When you got the Mackhams and Fulham and Brentford and them who spent fraction of what we did, got better players than us.
They don't follow squad cost ratio in UEFA, though, to be fair.
It doesn't matter. They spent 100 million, 80 million.
We have to follow squad cost ratio in Europe, and they don't.
Yeah, but we spent 250 million in the summer.
We spent 250 million in our last 6 windows.
We spent 750 million, 400 net.
Potentially overall, but not in the last 6 windows.
And overall, we spend 187 million a season on average, including that big shambles one we did in the first Champions League when he went and bought squad players instead of making the first 11 better. I said that 3 years ago.
Hang on. When we qualified for the Champions League, the first time we bought 2 players.
No, we bought 5.
Tonali and Bonds.
No, we got Hall.
And Tonali got banned for a season, and Bonds was injured virtually the full season.
Tino, Hall, both of them were squad players.
Yeah.
And we got Bonds.
At the time, they were young.
And we got Tonali. We were unlucky with Tonali. The other 3 were not starters at the time. And I said we should have went for starters. We didn't. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is now. We lost Isaac. The problem hasn't started now. The problem started last season. We saw the last 5-6 games after we won the cup and how we're playing football. We won some of them. I told you we won some of them. And after the game, we're on this show. The videos are there. Win, we were lucky. It doesn't matter. We won the game. Okay, the next game, win, we won. We're lucky. It doesn't matter. It was a win. And then after that, lost. We got away with it. Last 15 minutes, thanks to Martinez getting sent off. And we got away with it.
No, we got away with it for 38 games that season.
Nah, we didn't. We got away with it in the last 15 minutes of the last game. And in a way now, I think we shouldn't We
38
would have had a
games.
better season now, probably, if we're in the Europa League. But the thing is, even in the Europa League, would he rotate? He wouldn't. Because even in the early stages of the League Cup, he didn't rotate. He took 8 players with him to City. What did I say about the City game? Drop it. Drop the City game. Focus on Brentford. No.
But you couldn't just Roy. Hold on, though. You couldn't just drop a game, man, because that's not
Nah.
that's
Well,
not
what
feasible,
happened?
man.
Guess what happened that game? He took
Well,
8
you can argue
young
the game
players.
plan.
No, he took 8 young players on a school trip. None of them played.
Well, then that's a
16
criticism.
players
That's a
played.
valid criticism. You can use
Yeah.
that, of course, but dropping a game, who does that in today's day and age, man? Who
Chris, I'm telling you what. Now I swear on my family. Anybody, Real Madrid, Barca, PSG, Bayern Munich. If they lose at home 2-0 and then go to Etihad, you think they're gonna come back with something and beat
Well, Real
City
Madrid,
3-0?
they would. Yeah, what do you mean?
They
Of
will not,
course
man. They will not.
Nah,
They will not.
come on, Roy. Yeah, be naive.
Pep will
then,
put the
man.
first
Come on.
11 and smash them. He smashed them every time.
Yeah, but you
So-
don't.
So Eddie Howe thinks I'm going to go there, and he didn't even put the first 11 on. He mixed it up, so he didn't even do the right thing. And then he puts
the
the
game
other
plan
lads
didn't look
on.
right.
Well, it didn't. And then he didn't
Well,
even use the kids. And then what happened is they're all knackered, and we got against Brentford. The legs are gone after 70 minutes. It brings on Dan Burn when you chasing the game, man. Hall was one of the best players on the pitch, playing on the left. Chucks on the right. He's never played on the right my whole life. Goes on the right. He's gone. You've seen him. He's started whinging, fighting with the ref, gets a yellow card. Dan Burns up there on the wing. Sorry. Maldini.
Hey, be careful what you're doing.
Maldini. Yeah. Maldini on the left. That's
I
what's
think
wrong on the pitch.
With Hall going to right back, it was a case like Trippier was just getting rinsed. I mean, his legs, I don't know if it's his age or too many games in there, but we
You know
don't
what
have any
I-
other right backs other than Leo Shahar, and we have no idea really as a fan base how good Leo Shahar is. We could gamble, but
Yeah,
then
but-
he could get torn apart. And then if he gets
Gamble,
torn apart,
gamble.
do we then
No,
go
hold
on here and
on, though.
criticize not playing Trippier?
But Kevin, I mean, at some point you're going to have to. You can't complain about one thing and then also complain about a possible solution. Because clearly a Trippier is not up to speed. Clearly he's lost his legs. Clearly he's no good.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, no
Well,
good. I mean, I don't want to sound horrible to him. I'm saying no good is he's not up to speed for what we expect.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
so, at some point, man, you gotta do something, man. You can't just sink.
Hall
When-
right back is better than Leo Shahar right back.
Yeah, but the thing
Well,
is,
whoever-
Hall left back is better than Hall right back.
Correct, but we don't have
Well-
any other right backs. You'd
I know,
rather
but
have
he's
Hall
trying to
right
fix the
back and
problem
Burn
by
left
creating
back when you
another
would have
problem.
Hall left back and Shahar right back, wouldn't you? Because then
I
you've
know,
got
but-
experience. Of course you would. There's no manager or fan in the world who would prefer Hall left back and Shahar right back over
Well, you
Hall
know what I
right
gotta
back
say
and
about
Burn
that.
left back.
You know what I gotta say about that. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know what would happen if we do this, do that. We don't know. We simply don't know. You know why? Because it never gets tried. Because it feels like
I think he has tried different stuff recently. Half time, he changed it to have Wissa and Volta together.
That's one
After
thing.
The game
Yeah.
before that, in terms of City away, he had a game plan in terms of try and harry and press and counter attack. Granted, it didn't work. Unlucky to concede the first goal, but unfortunately, we were outclassed. Liverpool, I thought it was again 5 at the back, slightly different. I think he has tried different things. I think he hasn't just stuck with 4-3-3. We've had 5 at the back. We've had 2 up front. We've had a 4-2-3-1. We've had a 4-3-3. The problem at the moment is it's almost impossible to get any time on the training pitch. And let's be honest, Eddie Howe, as a coach, is brilliant on the training pitch. His whole time at Newcastle has shown the improvement he can have with players. So the fact that we are now playing 3 times a week consecutively over 3 weeks this month, it is almost impossible to get very good time on the training pitch to improve. You can
then
say
we
that's
have
a criticism of Eddie Howe. You can say that's a criticism of him and
Tell
say
me.
that he should be able to adapt better without training. But this is where we are. We are a growing club at this moment in time. What can we possibly do in terms of? I've been told to shut up because there's a super chat. I apologise.
No.
I'll listen. I'll listen to the fans.
Iris, well, super chats come first, of course. So Iris says some agree Ed cannot handle 2 games a week, even some on the panel. So with that thought right there, if we do get Europe, does it mean he should go? Need a 2-week game manager shortly. Well, that's the thing. If that's going to be the issue, then Like, I mean, what are the solutions? Either
they're not yet. He knows solution. If everybody's absolutely convinced that we're not going to get Europe this season, surely Eddie is the very manager we need next season.
Probably a good point.
no, well,
Because we'll only have one game a season.
Yeah,
Well,
I know
just a couple of things, actually. What Kev, you said.
Thank you, Irish Student Assassin, by the way.
Yeah,
for $10,
thanks,
man.
Irish.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will shut up in future. Sorry.
No, Kev, you said, time on the training ground. Was this week, after that performance, not the ideal time that Eddie, he was asked this in the presser this morning. Why did he not have the players in yesterday?
You can't run them into the ground. You can't have.
You didn't even have to have them running. You could have had them watching the video saying, this is where we're going wrong. This is where we're going wrong. This is where we're going wrong.
I mean, I swear, man.
It's difficult. We might have already looked at them things in previous games. It might not have had an impact which he hoped it had in terms of a reflection or an assessment. Again, when you look at feedback and how feedback is delivered over coaching sessions, either in person, via video, or delayed feedback or instant feedback, we don't know what the players respond best to. Eddie Howe knows that over the last 4 years. Granted, we are unfortunately underperforming right now for the first time in Eddie Howe's tenure. But he'll know how the players respond best to feedback. So for me, it's a question the media obviously have to ask. But in terms of any of us answering it, Eddie Howe's the best qualified to answer that by a mile.
Now, so let me get in there because I want to know everybody's opinion on this particular situation as far as the Eddie Howe that's come out now. That got the clause out basically, and which I like. Matter of fact, I would like more of it, and not just when we're in a dire situation, but. It feels like he's, come out, I don't know if on his own or whoever, to hold on to his seat and say, this is my seat, and I'm the right man to take care of this problem. And, I think that's good. But when you say that it's not good, so, again, always finding something to argue about. You seem like, because what's the issue with him saying this? I would
argue with you certainly about your take on Eddie saying he will know if he can't take the club any further, and he'll go. And you're saying that shouldn't be down to him. That shouldn't be down to him. Well, in exactly that situation, with Bobby Robson, who won only 3 games of his last 10 in charge at Newcastle, finishing up with the first 3 in 2004-05, when we lost a 2-0 lead to Norwich 4-2, we'd beaten the mighty Huddersfield Town 2-0 at home, but got beat 1-0 away at Fulham, and that was following defeats at Middlesbrough, Leeds, and Man United. The board then decided it was time for him to go, albeit they decided it on the back of the stadium turning, which it did massively at the time, and I was involved in that absolutely, because I was fed up with the finish the previous season and start that season, and that's why I've learned me lesson. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but just because it did, again, man, you what came after Robson was absolutely rubbish until the takeover. So you can't blame that on sacking Robson, man. Or you can argue, yeah, we should have kept him. Sure, why not? But every bad decision that happened after, it's not justified because or correlate to the sacking of Bobby Robson. Why is that? Why do the two correlate? Well, if you sack a manager because you don't think they're good,
were brought in
again.
And by the way, that's
a decision.
We were the biggest spenders in the league then.
That's a decision. We weren't the biggest spenders when Bobby Robson left, man.
Yeah, we
come on. In 2005, 2004,
right up there.
No. You're talking about Kevin Keegan. I might give you that, but you're talking about Bobby Robson.
Soon as got millions to spend.
Millions is nothing.
Souness did buy Emery, Scott Parker, Michael Owen, Damien Duff. There was a lot of money spent. I don't know if we were we were up there, but we did spend a lot of money.
Absolutely, we did.
Mike
And
Owen,
by the
17
way,
million. I
he
think
was
Duff was 50.
buying into that squad.
Parker was about 10.
He was
11,
buying
12
into the squad that Bobby Robson had already built with Bellamy, Robert, Shearer, da-di-da-di-da.
Who's the French defender from Glasgow?
a 60-year-old Shearer, man. Oh, wait, man.
He's still got about 19 goals actually in all competitions.
I think Owen was about 16.
Owen was a young lad, but I mean, it's easy to put all these names
because he got injured. Till he got injured, we were having a good season.
Yeah.
I think for me, what it comes down to, because I kind of agree about the Robson thing, but I also agree with Chris. It's a different situation. I think for me, it's a case of what did you expect in the progression from 4 years ago? So obviously we were all buzzing, but we stayed up. We didn't just stay up by the way we finished 11th. Then we were absolutely shocked that we overachieved and got Champions League in Howe's first full season. That was just, how on earth did he do that? And then we were a little bit kind of, we've got lots of injuries, so we'll accept it. We still qualified for Europe, but obviously a freak of Man U, and then obviously Champions League again. If we carried on progressing that rapidly at that rate, we would be challenging for the league now, which is borderline impossible with players like, and again, I'm not being disrespectful to these players, but it's borderline impossible with players like Willock, Murphy, Byrne. You could look at most of our team. Who in our team?
Longstaff and Almiron then.
Yeah, Longstaff, Almiron, obviously they've gone now, but even like Barnes and Gordon, are they good enough to challenge for the league? Probably not.
No, but who's talking about the league? That's the thing. No, nobody's saying Newcastle should win the league.
No. What I'm trying to get across is, if we expected us to keep continuing the rapid progress, the way it has been for the last 4 years, our next natural thing would be challenging for the league, which we can't do, which we all agree with. So I know we expected to be higher in the table than what we are, and I know we expected to perform better in maybe cups, but it's a case of, again, it's
crazy.
Plateaus, peaks, and troughs was always going to happen. Again,
but it's crazy, Kevin.
Ratio, it's important to be aware of. Sorry,
it's crazy. And I want to take Ian's take on this as well, where get him involved. But the thing about that is, I don't being a tip. If it's so great, the Premier League is so amazing, unbelievably great. Everybody's so great at football. Then fine. You know what? Everybody's competing, but we are 12, not even. Playing absolutely bad, playing with no purpose. You know what I mean? So that's the issue that you see sometimes. Him making decisions that make no sense, and it's not about me thinking that or you thinking that. It's about what everybody sees that, and now because St. James's Park has turned, and by the way, fair play to you, because you're the only, well, not the only one, but you're one of many. Use your cough button, Roy. I've been telling you for the last 20 minutes now.
I did.
But you just mute it. How about that? Just mute your mic. Anyway, you, Kevin, are the only one that has said the truth. That St. James's Park, this is, of course, the all United have booed and whistled at the team to where everybody can hear it. But you've mentioned before that it's not the first time that people have voiced their discontent with what's going on, bringing light to the lies and the scamming the Mighty Wind tried to do, telling people that the St. James's Park, the faithful, the match-going fans are all behind Eddie, and nothing is happening, and everything is good and great. Well, it turned out that not to be so, because this didn't happen overnight, right? This discontent didn't happen overnight. So, which is good to know, but fair play to you. But I want to know, I mean, how can he turn it around? Ian, tell me, how can he turn it around? I want to know what he needs to do to turn that around. And now you're going to defend Mighty Win. So go on then.
Well, first of all, I would agree with Kev. I don't think there's a lot of supporters who are expecting a linear progression from where we were last year. What I was expecting, what I would have been happy with, would have been a season of consolidation, a strengthening of the squad, a decent showing in the cups, and if we were competing to get into the Champions League or have a Europa or conference as a consolation, then I would have accepted that, given that Isak had gone and we had that to replace. That isn't where I was still wanting and expecting that running up to Christmas. But what I would have expected would have been some sort of strengthening in the January window, and we didn't spend a cent. How does Eddie Howe turn this around? That's his test, and he's set the test for himself. He's drawn a line in the sand and said he has to work better. I don't know how he works better. Better motivationally, stronger decisions in leaving Trippier out and starting Sahar because he can't be any worse than Trippier is. Mixing up the tactics, playing players to play in the positions that they favour playing in. I don't know if Gordon's centre forward tomorrow night is right because he's not a centre forward, but he has looked the most effective centre forward in the last few games. It's difficult. It's a tough job, and he's set the bar now for him to improve things. He's picked a really rotten run of games to try and improve it in. Away at Spurs, away at Karabakh, away at Villa.
But to be fair, he has no choice.
It's tough.
He has no. To be fair, he didn't pick. He has no choice. He has to fix it. If we lose every game coming up, Steve says I don't understand the club. I would like him to say what are you on about? As opposed to just saying stuff. You know what I mean? What Eddie Howe needs to. I mean, we can't lose every game until we play. Who's the toughest team we play? The weakest team that we play. I know that Wayne thinks that West Ham can win the Champions League, but that's not the reality of things. So there are weak teams in the Premier League, and we're going to play a few of them. Everton, we should be beating Everton in the world.
To be honest, Chris, we should be hammering Tottenham. Their first team's injured, 100%. And they haven't won at home since December. I think we should be winning tomorrow night. Even the team that played Brentford should be beating Tottenham tomorrow night. And if Howe has got his motivational hat on and is able to galvanise them and pull them all together, he's got history of it. If you remember last year, after that Brentford game, we lost 4-2. We just capitulated in the second half. They locked in for about 2 hours after that, and there's some home truths were spoken. And that's when we went on this run of 9 straight wins that actually rescued the season and was the main reason why we were able to hang on and get into the Champions League. He needs to do something like that again. We need to win at Tottenham. We need to surprise everybody by winning at Aston Villa. And then if we win at Karabakh and come back, then, maybe we're in a better frame of mind to take on Man City, and we can play the second half in both halves and come away with a 1-0 win. I mean, that's the sort of thing he's got to do to show that he is the man that needs to steer this club forward. It's no good presiding over a couple of goalless draws and 2 defeats, because that's not improvement.
Well,
so I don't know how he's going to do it, but that's the Eddie Howe magic, and he's done it before. And we've got to give him at least the opportunity to do that. That's what I mean by him. That's what I mean by the fact that if he can't do it in these next 5 or 6 games, he'll hold his hands up and say, "I've done everything I can," and he'll walk away. I hope he stays till the end of the season because, to be honest, I think that would be what do you call him?
Detrimental to the team.
Graham taking on some bloody coach running us till the end of the season.
Graham Jones.
Painful.
Jones.
Graham Jones doing it. I don't see there's any advantage if by waiting until the summer you do make a change, you've got 3 or 4 times more managers to choose from, and you've got managers at a point in their seasons where they are able to make a respectable exit. So I don't see dumping Eddie and for the last 2.5 months of the season doesn't really make any sense to me.
Do you believe actually, let's go on about this. How can he turn things around? I mean, is it just the thing is you beat Tottenham, that's fine, but that's not turning it around. So again, we need to focus on the Premier League, right? The Premier League is important, but then if you get eliminated from the FA Cup, trust me, those Bulls will only that's why everything is so negative right now, and the level of toxicity is on levels unheard of, or maybe heard of.
It's been at Newcastle again. It's been at Newcastle pre-takeover, hasn't it? But post-takeover, it's rare to see kind of what's starting to turn. But for me, it's just for me, it's all sad. Really, really sad. I absolutely love Eddie Howe. He's given me probably actually not probably, the best moment of supporting Newcastle in my lifetime, and I was very lucky enough to see Robson. Didn't quite get to see Keegan, but he's given me the greatest moments in terms of being a Newcastle fan. So I could never ever be disrespectful like I do see with some fans slating him, saying he knows nothing, he's a waste of space, get rid, he's not my leader. All that horrible stuff, I genuinely hate that personally, because it's disrespectful to a man who, and like I said, I was talking personally here, it's disrespectful to a man who has given me so many incredible moments as a Newcastle fan. So I hate seeing that. The other thing which is sad for me is it's really difficult to see how the way he is in terms of coming out with gloves off and fighting for his seat. It's good to see in a way, but also
I like it.
I don't think it has to be. It doesn't have to be toxic. I think, look, no matter who comes in next, right? I don't think we're going to get much out. I think we have overrated our players because of how good they've been in the last 4 years. I personally don't think we're as good as we think we are in terms of personnel. Other than Bruno, I don't think we have any world-class players. I think it is only Bruno. So if you have one world-class player, and then you've got a manager, arguably the best manager in our history, well, recent history, not history in terms of Joe Harvey and people like that, but in terms of the big three, Keegan, Robson and Howe did something the other two couldn't do, regardless of financial backing and world record transfers in 95, 96 with Shearer. It's very sad to see it go so toxic. Personally, I think it should be a little bit more respect towards how we should cover ourselves as a fan base with a little bit more glory and a little bit more respect, because we don't know who's coming in next, and whoever does come in next, this will be putting them off. If we're honest, they'll be looking at this job thinking, if they can treat Eddie Howe like that, they'll have no problem treating me like that, and I can't get out of Willock, Murphy, Gordon, Barnes, Shaw, Joe Linton, what Eddie Howe got out of them, and we're not going to get loads of money to spend because of PSR or squad cost ratio. So actually, I don't fancy that job, and we're going to have to go for someone unheard of and unproven, I think, which is very sad. But for me, keep up.
Roy, so does he turn it around? How can he do that?
I wish I knew the answer.
Roy,
I wanted bullet points as to what he's going to do in training, what he's done in training today to make it different. I genuinely think if he beats Tottenham, which he should, and he somehow manages, it's a horrible, dirty, goalless draw, and we go through on penalties against Villa, so that there's another game in the FA Cup to look forward to. I think that will ease things off. I mean, that is the start of it, because you hope that you're going to win the 2 Qarabag games, and that you've got a City free hit away from home in between them. He's through to the end of February then, isn't he? And we still have FA Cup to look forward and Champions League to look forward to. I think, I think that's what will happen. That will just be done by sheer force of will and asking these players to respond and find the extra 5 and 10%. And I don't think he's lost them. I think they love him. And I think they will respond in the short term to be able to turn this around.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think he's lost the dressing room. I thought once upon a time he did, but I don't think it's that. Listen, you don't have to as well lose the dressing room to just say to bore players to death. To say, look, we're doing what we're doing, but it's not working. And then you see attitudes as well. You know what I mean? You players are not performing. I know that we like the Newcastle fans are interesting because we like to grab onto certain people and just say just they love us, they want to hold on to them like a little teddy bear, and therefore they play for us, they love us, they think about me all night, like Wayne thinks, Bruno thinks of him every night, and Byrne and all that. And I think I don't even blame Byrne on anything since he's come back. I thought he's been a great leader and just doing what he can, but the whole players are not performing, and unfortunately, it's a brutal sport to where if they're not believing, not to say that this guy's a numpty, I can't listen to him, but the tactics maybe just they're not getting through to the players, and unfortunately, if that's the case, it's just like, what can you do about it? You can't sack 22 players, so it's a brutal sport. You know what I'm saying? And what Kevin was talking about, the fans, I said it many times. The atmosphere is unbelievable, great, honky dory, greatest fans in the world. But when they turn, it becomes the worst place in the world.
Yep,
That's
Gary
the thing.
Speed said that.
That's you know what I mean? It's just the way it is, because as detrimental as it can be to the opposition to come to St. James's Park. And when I did Premier League content, I told them many times, first word of advice to your players, don't try to get the crowd going. Don't even look at them, because they're going to get on their feet. Kind of what Liverpool fans try to do when we went over there to try to do something, and they you know how the Liverpool crowd wanted to get a man of ours sent off in the first 10 minutes. It felt like that. Well, ours are 3 times worse. So that's for the opposition team. But when we're not doing our job and we're not performing, that's going to turn on our own team.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to get to that level, and unfortunately, only results will turn this around. And you're asking, I'm going to look again. You're asking to beat Tottenham, Aston Villa, Karabakh, Man City, Karabakh again at home, Everton, who we should be beating really, but are we? Man United, who we have been beating at St. James's Park, but they're performing well, and they got War Kid there in charge. War Kid is coming back home. You know what I mean? So should we have thought of War Kid? I know that Wynn thinks he's a Mackham, but he's not. He's a War Kid. He is a Geordie doing a thing. He's not the greatest, but he's just doing a thing. That's all I'm saying. Right? That's all I'm saying. But I mean, this is a tough situation, lads. I mean, very tough situation. You can't, so
you were asking, what can Eddie do to turn it around? It's dead simple. Win football matches. That's what it's
you think he can
about.
win?
That's what
you
it's
think
never been about.
Yeah, but
that's saying Eddie is burnt out, tired. Put him to rest, poor thing. And Jake, Jeff was in. The new republic is coming. Sorry, culties.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So I understand what you said there might get us to live in Mars at some point. You said that we got to win games, and that was so brilliant of you to come up with that unbelievable answer. But my point now, it's a clear and obvious thing. But how are we going to do that? Because
are you saying that the point? Football isn't rocket science.
Yeah, but how is Newcastle United that play like this against Brentford? It has been playing. How are we going to beat Tottenham away? Aston Villa, Karabakh, Man City, Karabakh again, Everton, Man United. How is that happening? Karabakh, whatever, it is what it is. But how are we doing that? How? I want to know how. And you guys are not going to get hired by me, by the way.
Would do what Eddie has done
as a manager.
Came to the club.
Come on, win.
And you work harder and you try harder, and you hope things are gonna get better.
I think personally, the way he does it, rather than I agree with Win in terms of winning matches, obviously, and hoping, but the way he's got to do it is there needs to be for me a genuine look at the players. And what I mean by that in terms of
they got to look at the system.
Who wants to be here? So it's a case of Tonali's agents coming out with a new statement every day. That's not going to help. Tonali's not in form as it is. Maybe he needs dropping if we've got players fit enough who can, of course, play. And I think from there needs to be a genuine conversation around we've got to reset all targets and we have to go from this moment, from Tottenham away and look at, right, what are our expectations moving forward in terms of we're not confident, we're not in form. Personally, I think beating Tottenham is doable, mainly because they're in awful form. They're below us, and we've had a horrendous season by all accounts. And then from there, I think Villa, for me, doesn't really matter too much. I think the league's the most important thing. That takes it, obviously, Man United, Everton, after a Karabakh double. So it's a case of setting new targets, setting new standards, and then saying to the players in terms of who plays, who doesn't play. And when we do play, are we going to incorporate Volta how we did at the start of the season? Because everyone says we're not getting the best out of them, but at the start of the season we did. What is the difference now? And what is the change? Is it with two young fullbacks who can get up and support? We don't have that anymore. Look, it's very tough, but Howe has come through tough situations when he first came in. He took the job when nobody wanted to take the job. And came in and got us 11th somehow, and he's turned it around previously. So Look, it's looking forward from now, reset everything, complete reset. We are where we are. That cannot change. But yeah, for me, my only thing is the respect towards how I get if you want him gone, but some of the things I've seen online is
yeah. I agree with you. I mean, the disrespect is criminal. To be fair, I mean, I've seen that as well, and I think that you can get your point across without calling names, and even now there's a thing where I love me some GIFs, or GIFs. I love them, but now people are swapping faces with Epstein and doing all that crap with AI. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
One of our best managers of all time, and he's getting treated like that.
It makes
Victim of his own success.
Give
me the best season I've ever had in 63 years.
Yeah, I agree.
22, 23.
That's a Newcastle
followed
problem,
by
man.
the second best in 24, 25.
That's a Newcastle problem. That's not, if that's the best season, then that's fine. But that's not really. It's great, unbelievable, but overachieving. I don't know about that. I think we got good players, and he's a good manager. He's a good manager, and we got good players to get to where we were.
I'm not sure how many of our players
they did a great job, but we can't act as as if he. You gotta be balanced, man. Balance. And right after we come back, we're gonna talk more about things that are going on. Sandro Tonali possibly going. Is there the rumored truth that that Graham Jones and Eddie Howe were going at it? That's an interesting. Graham Jones, proper majority. Graham Jones, proper majority, baby. He gonna take over. He gonna take over the Magpie ship, and that's thinking. We're gonna get right back right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to smash the like button. You're listening to.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army, live daily on the website, on YouTube, on DAB, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
The voice of the Toon Army, ladies and gents. Don't forget to smash the like button. You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio live on DAB in Newcastle upon Tyne and Gateshead. Everywhere and their mama listening to NUFC Talk Radio. We are live on YouTube, of course. The Mighty Win showed up. We sent an SOS, gone missing in action, but he made it. He made it.
Never missing in action. Not called up for duty.
No, you were called up, actually. I told you, show up. You didn't. And you played it on the text.
Sure don't.
Anyway,
you wouldn't send
it. No, you didn't. You're a chicken, man. Well, that's all right.
No,
we know your true colors. You know your true colors. Anyway, Graham Jones going at it with Eddie Howe. Well, I mean, I guess that's I agree with that. They should be.
Well, I would like to know what it was about. I didn't witness it personally, but if they were having to go at each other, I would like to know what it was about. But I don't think it's a bad thing if there's a disagreement between the coach and staff. Maybe it's a good thing, because we've been saying for a while that maybe that's Eddie's problem. He's gone stale because his backroom staff hasn't changed. And certainly the backroom staff that he's brought in terms of the set piece coaching team doesn't appear to be working at all.
Go ahead and have a bite of that, Ian. A bite brought to you by Taste of Asia. Taste of Asia, reach out. Go on, Ian.
I mean, Eddie and Tyndall stand on the sideline, and they have done for years, haven't they? And that Eddie might only tolerate that because Tyndall doesn't challenge what he's doing on the pitch. He's asked for his opinion, and he gives it when he's asked. I think Jones might see stuff and speak up first and tell him he's getting it wrong, which is good. Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's education for him, isn't it? But maybe that's why there was. If Howe didn't agree with him, that's why there's a little bit of an altercation, because it was the game where Tyndall was banned, wasn't it? And he wasn't alongside him.
Yeah.
Forget which one it was. There've been so many games in the last couple of weeks. I can't remember which one it was. So maybe Jones wanted to bring somebody under the age of 30 on as a substitute, and that was what got his goat, because that's something I think that you can level at Howe, and flogging our players so they're in the condition that they're in now without utilising any of these poor young lads who, as Roy said earlier on, just keep going on a school trip every few days. Alex Murphy can't have played a game of football for 18 months. He's been on the bench without getting on 3 times a week. I don't know when the last time was he played for the under-21s. That can't be the way to nurture the. That must be the pick of the young uns that we've got that come away with us. I just think that the youth are being horrifically mismanaged, and when we're crying out for extra bodies just to give the first choice a rest, we just haven't used that.
Yeah, and by the way, Niall says, "What an analysis!" When Win said, "We just got to win games." You know, that's why he's paying his memberships for a bloke to tell him we got to win games. So I'm sorry about that, Niall. I appreciate you being a member, though, mate. We're gonna bring you a proper analysis when Kevin gets. By the way, Kevin, man, we're not gonna say too much, but we got a lot going on with Kevin, man. Kevin was the plug. He is the plug, man. He is the right guy. I should have found him before I found Win. Oh my God, man. Oh, wait, man. I'm telling you, this is crazy.
Proves it. Wow.
So, do you say making a big deal out of Graham? Nobody's making a big deal. See, that's the state of fans today. War Captain Bruno in there, in the chat. You know what I mean? Just they can't say nothing no more without...
Stuff arguing. It's normal.
Nobody, who's made a big deal out of anything? I just literally put it out. Again, everybody's so sensitive. Everything is just so intense, man. The tensions are high. One thing that I do want to voice my opinion on is, though, Voltemada should have been the one taking that penalty against Brentford. Bruno took it. I understand, captain, but a captain could have also said, you know what, my striker needs to go more than me. And it's a penalty, so he'll score it, and honky dory. Now, of course, he's going to have to face the music if he misses it, but this notion that he would have skied it and at the end of the world, based on what? Some guy told me on X, 50% conversion rate, mate. What do you want? 50% on 2 attempts. Some context would be nice before we start spooning
that's
stats.
Exactly. Can you imagine what it would... Listen, Voldemort's confidence...
Yeah, but that's what he's there to do.
Voldemort's confidence right now is down there. Yeah. And if he'd taken that penalty and blown it, can you imagine?
And what if he scored it? Can you imagine? So what is this, man?
I just thought that was brilliant captaincy. Brilliant.
Yeah, Voldemort wanted the ball, though. So that means his confidence is there to take it.
Yeah, but
it's only a penalty, mate. It's only a penalty, just kicking a ball. We're just complicating stuff here.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to, by the way, Connor, who's been posting stuff on social media and on X. And this one went over 110,000 views on X on this post. Basically, he just, gets gathered news from all over the place and reshares it, puts them on our socials. And on X, it went nuts. And is the Chronicle reporting that Voltemada was furious over the penalty. Voltemada had to be held back by Trippier as Bruno prepared to take the spot kick. Should Voltemada have taken a penalty to end his goal draw? I would think if the guy really wants it and is adamant, I'd be like, look, mate, this is yours, and you're going to score, and you're going to get back on track, and you're going to get us this win. That's a captain, man. That's a captain. You know what I mean?
Chris, that's the Chronicle.
I think there's positives everywhere. You've got a striker who's not confident wanting to take it. That's a big positive. And you've got a captain willing to put the weight on his shoulders to say, I'll take the pressure. I think that's a good thing. Just like I think, again, it's a case of, on my old dial-up, I remember that. It's a good thing as well in terms of staff arguing and staff having difference of opinions. No good leader, no good manager surrounds himself with yes men. They all surround themselves with people with different ideas, and we go from there. And we kind of find the right answer. I think the positive was all over with Volta and Bruno.
But we know when people say the 50% conversion rate, man.
Yeah, that's two penalties.
Come on, man. And DX, he isn't convincing a penalty taker, Chris. Well, so isn't Bruno. Bruno's ain't a great penalty taker either, man. The little stuttery
step last year in the cup.
The little stuttery step that the old Brazilians do, and then pause it for 2 minutes and shoots highway, man. Yeah. And he missed the penalty, by the way, the penalty shootout. And I'm not saying that Bruno is bad. I'm not saying Bruno is bad. I'm just saying that Bruno could have scored it or could have missed it, just like Voltemada could have scored it and missed it. I'm just saying it's more important. Some things are much more important. It's just a small problem into a lot more issues that we have. That's all I'm saying, by the way. And I know that you want to rubbish it. That's fine. Kevin and Ian want to rubbish it. I understand. But at the end of the
Not
day,
rubbish in it. I just think it's a positive. I think it's a positive for both. You've got a striker who wants to take it and a captain who's willing to put the pressure on his shoulders. That's two good positives for me.
So today, Give Me Sport, using whatever sources they got, saying that Newcastle midfielder Sandro Tonali will turn down a move to Man United, Man City, and Arsenal to return to Italy. Juventus are interested in Tonali, and the former AC Milan midfielder wants to move to his former league for personal reasons. Newcastle are confident that it won't be a repeat of Alexander Isak, or the saga that happened last year or this summer, who forced his way out, as we know, and Tonali being grateful for how Newcastle dealt with his football ban. And of course, with that being said, that's my opinion now. Tonali has also repaid that back by having the greatest season ever last year, cup, and everything else. So, but we should Newcastle United right now should be working the hardest to give him a better contract, more money, and convincing them to stay, right? We can't move forward if we sell our best players, because you're not going to get a player like him. Who's a better player than him? Anderson?
There's 100 better players than him at the minute, Chris.
Yeah, he's bang on.
No way, man. Relax, man.
Miley's been playing better than him in the last 6-7 games.
Yeah, that's fine. Miley. So who are you going to put your money into? Miley or Tonali?
I was just going to add.
Go on,
I was
Ian.
just going to add. We need to trade. We need to trade to grow, because we haven't got the crowd yet to be able to compete. Tonali, I don't want Tonali to go to Man United or Arsenal. If for personal reasons and his new kid and wife want to get back to Italy, and he goes to Italy, I think we shake hands with him and we get the maximum funds for him, and we use that at the start of the transfer window to bring in properly scouted players that are going to be in the first team or on the bench to come on in the first team to affect it, to improve, to grow. We need to trade. We need to get rid of one of these big players every year to have the cash to be able to bring more in. But we've got to use that cash wisely. I don't think Eddie Howe's coaching has gone downhill at all. But one thing that was all on him in the summer was spending £250 million. And let's be honest, even if these players do come good in the end, we've overpaid for them, and they aren't Premier League ready. None of them have hit the ground running. Elanga's starting to show some signs that he might be a good buy, but he's had a full pre-season and 6 months in the team. So that's the bit that Eddie Howe didn't get right, I think, more than how he's coached the players. But yeah, if Tonali wants to go back to Italy, I think we shake hands with him and we let him go as early as possible, so we've got the cash in to, maybe we do it before the end of June, and we've got cash in this year so that we can go and take advantage of all of those other people suffering from the PSR or SCQ, whatever it is, SCRs, or whatever the problems are. There's always an opportunity before the end of June, isn't there, to step in.
Cost ratio.
Yeah. Well, there'll be teams in a situation like we were when we had to sell Anderson and Minter, and if we've got cash in June, that's an opportunity every year.
Yeah, if he wants to go, the club knows by now he wants to go. So
they should do.
Yeah, and it's easy. It's easy. You sit with his agent and Tonali. Tonali, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Oh no, sorry, I want to go. Okay, that's it. Tonali, you can leave the room. We're gonna sit with your Mr. Agent. Mr. Agent, we want 80 million for him. Make your mind up. We want the money done and the deal done by July 20th, max. If you don't give me this deal, if you don't get the 80 million, whatever, no deal. Tell your player and shake hands and let him go. We get the 80 million offer, but by then we've planned plan B. We're going to buy X, Y, Z, whatever, from Parma, from our scouting team under Mr. Andrew Howe. Will find us the replacement from somewhere, probably from from Bournemouth. Who's the Bournemouth number 6? Probably buy us one of them. And that's it. We'll go forward from there. We'll pay 80 million, replace Tonali, 80 million with somebody from Bournemouth for 80 million. So hopefully we've got a plan B, mate. Or otherwise, don't leave it and say, don't do the Isaac, because can't blame everything that happened with Isaac on Isaac. Because
Wayne says we wouldn't have lost any. Wayne said we wouldn't have lost the. You know how we gave up so many points this season? He said we wouldn't have lost them with Isaac on.
And I'm saying that if we'd had Isaac playing up front, fit from the start of the season, we would have had at least 10 more points.
No, because we played the same against
in Champions League position.
No, we played the same football end of the last season against Everton. Everton's carbon copy of most of the games of this season.
Well, if you want to
Arsenal before that.
If you want to bring it up, I'll get the stats up. We didn't finish
Same.
as badly as everybody says we'll finish.
No, I'm just bringing one game. I'm just bringing one game. Fulham last season, almost carbon copy of Fulham this season. The only difference is they scored. We had Osula coming on last minute, wonder goal.
And we should have had 7 before that.
Shouldn't have had 7.
Seven. Who scores 7 in a game?
Yeah.
Who scores
Michael
7 in a
Jordan
game?
does. Michael Jordan doesn't. James Harden.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. These
Nobody scores
exaggerations,
7,
man. It's incredible. Anyway,
if that's the case, Haaland will finish the season on 200 goals. So nobody should score 7. Ekitike missed about 3 yesterday.
Yeah. Let me go with some of the comments in the live chat. Let's give the live chat their props. Michael Gramsall there says, How needs us out of competitions? A very good manager with 1 game a week average when dealing with high workloads and smaller turnarounds. You know why? Question: if Eddie Howe is staying, how can we stop him from making the same mistakes, playing trips and burn at fullback when they clearly are not up for it?
I know, a trip to Amsterdam.
So,
trip to Amsterdam with the ganja man, and he might wake up. Because I can't see anything else he's gonna do, man.
I've kept.
Anyway, how? I mean, come on, man. Respond to the question. You know, I has a question for you. You know, basically making decisions.
Take risks. That's all it is. Take risks.
Making the decisions. I mean, did he play Burn a fullback? He hasn't done that though, has he?
Burn came off in the last 10 minutes.
On Saturday.
Well, that's true. I mean, but
yeah. Burn came on to be a threat from set pieces, didn't he? That was the reason why Burn was brought on, because if we were going to get a set piece, we were going to lump it in and hopefully Burn would win the first header. That was the plan. Didn't come off, but tried something different, which is one of the criticisms, amazingly.
Well, there you go. Ian pleads the 5th. My client pleads the 5th. He doesn't want to excuse. He doesn't want to defend that. Davey says, I suppose I'm a happy clapper because I've been clapping loud for the last hour and a half. Hour and a half years watching cups getting lifted. Champions League, Wembley visits. Yeah, I've been ecstatic. Says
Me
Davey.
too.
You know what's making it worse. You know what's making it worse for all of us. Like the happy clappers, all of us. When your CEO comes on and says, 2030, we're going to win the league. And I'm sitting there thinking, bloody hell, I'm happy 7th. I'm happy with 7th, me. I want Eddie out, but I'm happy with 7th. This numpty comes in and says we're going to win the league in 4 years.
Relax.
And that's making me, he's telling me we're going to win the league. Oh, come on, let's do it.
Well, you disagree with it. He told you by 2030, so you told you by 2030, but you're talking about, come on, let's do it. He told you by 2030.
Liverpool had to wait 30 years. Liverpool had to wait 30 years. I'm not bothered about winning the league. I just want to watch good football on the weekend and smoke less tabs watching it. That's all I want. I'm just happy. I just want to. I haven't watched a good football in ages. Well, PSG was okay. 1 game out of 5 is not good. Leeds last 10 minutes, yeah.
That was fun, yeah. That was.
I smoked about 10 tabs then.
Foxy there. Both Kevin and Roy make good points. Can't fault Howe for his overall time at the club, but the European competition added to Premier League. Eddie's lack of experience is showing with the rotation and we suffered for this. Sean says our hardest worker on the pitch should be treated like Hull was. That's unforgivable. What do you mean the hardest worker?
That's when
What's
he
going on?
shoved him in the right, maybe. Not sure what he meant.
I'm not sure what Sean is meaning on that.
Who's
one. I
that
know
saying
Paul-
support Man City?
you know, relax.
I've just said the opposite here. Those are Doylems, man.
Yeah. Go. I keep going. Then
Ooh, what's happened to the sound?
Last minute.
Chris has lost a bit of connection, I think. I think what I will say was a good point made earlier about
Really, the exit was Amanda who sanctioned those sales, though she said so on a podcast recently. That must have been asked a question that should have been asked. If not asked already, ask him now. Simple, it's not rocket science.
I think, you know what it is? On the other side, I think PIF are not doing their job properly as well.
I was about to say that. I was going to say there was a comment about how me and Roy were we have different points, but people were like saying we both making good points. I think part of it is how obviously makes mistakes and needs a little bit more experience, having less time on the training pitch and being able to manage for 3 games a week. I agree with that. That's probably quite a fair criticism, but a lot of managers make mistakes. But also, like Roy just said, he needs backing. I mean, I know we're talking about the summer, 250 million and this stuff, but January, it was obvious we needed players, and why didn't somebody come in? We don't know the answer. We don't know who made that decision. None of us do. But he needs a bit more support.
Yeah, it depends on what the targets are. I mean, they might be to say, okay, this is a reboot season, and whatever happens, and then we'll give them a chance next summer. Or they might have made their mind up already, and they thought, you know what, we're not going to spend any money now. We'll keep the money and the budget for next summer for the new coach. No one knows. You know, he might surprise us. We'll see. It starts with the Spurs.
I think
tomorrow.
for me, it's just a personal thing. I'm so attached to how I want him to turn it around.
If they said that we don't need a fullback because we've got Alex Murphy for the left side and we've got Leo Sahar for the right side, I would accept not buying anybody. But we have them and they're sitting on the bench, but they never come on. So, you know, I agree. They could have found 20, 25 million to bring one of the younger fullbacks they must have on their hit list. Like I keep saying, Ross Wilson, when he was at Nottingham Forest, had a hit list that had Murillo and Milenkovic and Elliot Anderson on it. So, you know, they must have a list of targets that they're monitoring and constantly updating. It's ridiculous to think that in 30 days with money to spend that we couldn't find some reinforcements without breaking the bank. If they're young kids and you pay the right money for them, then 18 months later, if they're not developing into Lou at all, you can sell them and get all of your cash back. You might do an Asula and double your money. It's disappointing. That was a lack of backing, and I can't believe Howe was still telling us it was PSR reasons when clearly it wasn't.
Well, there you go.
We can always play 3 at the back and have Miley or whoever's fit can play in the right wing back, because that worked
always options
against PSG. That was good. That Hall on the left,
Miley's fit, if Miley's fit, I think that could be the way forward. But it just again, we just need. I don't know what it is. We just need players back. It's one of them seasons, isn't it? Like the handball against us against Brentford. It's just like the goal City scored in the second leg just completely takes it out here. And I don't know. I think personally, from a fan point of view, I'm just like, God, if anything could go wrong this season, it seems to be going wrong. But I think for me, it's a reminder of what it is to be a Newcastle fan, isn't it? We've never been defined by success. Like Roy was saying, we've never, ever been defined by winning trophies or being the most successful club. It's about the Mavericks. It's about the style of play, the entertainment, the excitement, the passion, the city centre stadium, the buzz around the city, that feeling you get when you take PSG down 4-1 or Man United 5-0. That's what it is, isn't it? It's that massive pull of them moments, them iconic eras of being a Newcastle fan. And we had that under Howe, and it is slipping away now slightly, but can we get it back? I think we can, but we need players fit. We need to get, like Roy said there, Miley right wing back would be amazing. Even Murphy right wing back could be amazing. We need that back, but how do we get players back? I don't know. The physios, do we just, like Roy said before, I don't agree with this, and I'm on Chris's side with it. Do we just start throwing games? Like, again, this won't go down well, but the FA Cup game, play all the kids, everyone's got a week off, come into training, we'll just have, I don't know what the answer is, but that's what we need. That's what we need. We need players back, and we've just got to go and go and go, and hopefully we can beat Tottenham. We can scrape a win against Villa. Probably not get anything out of City. Get into the next round of the Champions League. Beat Everton. Beat Man U. And you could be looking at the table. It's all ifs and buts. I get it. We could be looking at the table, top 9, top 8 in quarterfinals of a Champions League, and all of a sudden you think, oh, has he turned it around? Could be interesting, but we need players back, like Roy said.
It's the hope that kills you.
Oh, it is.
It is every game, man.
Over the last 27 years I can remember, that's the worst part about being a Newcastle fan.
So let me finish the comments, and then we'll talk a little bit about Spurs and what's going to what we think is going to happen tomorrow. And Becca, there, I don't care what Sooners had or didn't have. I care what Eddie has and doesn't have. We need to live in the present. Sooners had nowhere near the amount of. Sooners had nowhere near the amount of players that this team has, man.
On paper, I don't know. Michael Owen was a baller.
Michael Owen for Newcastle United was
but when we signed him from Real Madrid,
until he got injured, he was brilliant.
Ex-Ballon d'Or winner, Premier League,
that's right. But you're talking about one player. You're talking about one player who didn't want to play for us. So I mean, I don't understand.
Damien Duff at the time was like Chelsea's best winger. We had Nzogby up and coming at the time. Emery came in from Inter Milan, who again had a really good reputation, one of the best midfielders kind of around in Europe at the time. Obviously didn't work out that way, but we signed them types of players with ambition. Alongside him, we had Shearer, wwho granted was aging. We replaced him with Martins from Inter Milan. We had ambition, and he had a lot at his disposal that just all went Pete Tong.
But Emery, Nicky Butt, Kieran Dyer, Jermaine
Nicky Butt. Are you serious about putting Nicky Butt there?
James Milner, Lauren Robert, Shearer, Owen, Luke Clivert, Shola, and Bellamy.
Luke!
Yeah.
No, wait, watch what you're saying, man.
Luke didn't work out, but in terms of reputation.
wait, time out, man. Every player that you're on about, you're talking about. No, it didn't work. It didn't work out, but it didn't work out, but it didn't work out, but what are you on about, man?
No.
He was unlucky because I think he was unlucky, Luke.
If you look at when Souness came in,
I know, Luke, man.
The reputation of players is the point. The reputation we have now isn't our players. We have overrated. Chris made a great point before about our fans. We completely attach to somebody and then make them the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then we're equally going to tear them down as well. We have overrated a lot of our players, and in terms of how many of our players now get into another team's top 6, how many?
Tonali gets in.
Not on current form.
But he does though. But you can say current form all you want to, but he does. If he was a free agent and wanted to go to Man City, he'd go to Man City and he wouldn't play. He'd be over there. Yeah, come on, man.
He wouldn't play.
It's easy to say that and say they're over. Whatever you chose.
Last year's form, I would say any team in the world. Now, I would say
last year's form. I agree.
Not many.
This year's form,
nobody buy Gordon. No, but I mean, Gordon buying for 20 million. That's a
Gordon.
That's
Barnes,
that's one player.
Barnes. None of them get in. None of them get in.
None of them get anywhere.
Well, listen. Most of them. I agree with. I agree with you. I would no Bruno. I agree with you that most will. I agree with that most will. Most won't. I'm sorry. Most won't.
Yeah, most won't. Yeah.
Some will, but most won't. But that's why we should be fighting for Champions League, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's why nobody's expecting this team to win the Premier League. Winning the Premier League would be overachieving by a long mile.
Yeah.
But if you actually consider all the competitions that we would have to play in. But nobody's calling for that. Only Win thinks that. Nobody's calling for that. When you did say we could win the Premier League and the Champions League at one point, and you can't.
We can't even beat Brentford,
that's
man.
Poor. That's really poor.
Oh, exactly, man. How? Anyway, comments. How has blowing a golden?
Possible. It's still possible.
Well, Iran can win the World Cup.
Well, no doubt, exactly. There you go. And keep digging yourself into a deeper hole.
I've said it about 7 times, and they get knocked out in the first round.
How has blown a golden opportunity for the club to kick on, especially given the inconsistency of other teams? But how?
What's this inconsistency of other teams? All the other teams are getting better.
No, they're not. They're very inconsistent. West Ham, super inconsistent. Everton, extremely inconsistent.
Every team is.
You know what I mean? The quality is not there, man. Liverpool, knackered. You know what I mean? So, man. Relax, man. What is Brighton now? Brighton, the whole
Have a look at
whole
the
in
Champions
Albion.
League. Have a look at the
Brighton.
Champions League.
What happened to Brighton? What happened to Brighton? They were so great.
Yeah,
Yankuba
but the Champions
Minte.
League, I've realised the
That's how
Champions
it-
League, that first round, is much easier than the Premier League. Look where
Come on,
Spurs are, the 3rd or 4th. And in the league, well, the 15th or something. It's easy.
And that's not how bad the Champions League is.
And look
how
at Brighton.
the Premier League is.
What happened to Forest?
Yeah, Premier League is harder than Champions. Well, no,
What
Premier League
does
is
the
harder
Premier
than
League
that
good have to
phase
do-
of the Champions League.
Everybody that's up there fighting for the league and in European spots are who's supposed to be there. That's it. All of them. The ones that are overachieving might be Sunderland. We don't know, but might be. You would say you have an argument saying that they're overachieving simply because they just got promoted. Based on that fact, yeah, you can say they're overachieving. Yeah, but that's about it. Brentford might be overachieving because every Premier League team decimated their squad and they're still right there. Other than that, who's overachieving? None of them. They all spend. They all should be there fighting for Europe or winning or fighting for the league. Liverpool underachieving, certainly. Everton 8th. They're doing all right with Moyes now, I guess. Decent, but they're not doing it. Where do you expect Everton to be, really? That's really where they're going to be. Crystal Palace. What happened to Crystal Palace? FA Cup winners. What happened? What happened with Forest? What happened with Brighton?
Every club
Palace
who won a
lost a
trophy
lot of
last year
players.
in England has had a massive drop off.
What happened with Tottenham? What happened? They're all knackered, man. West Ham. So when's the last time they got relegated? I mean, hoy.
Probably going down this year.
So even the worst teams are underperforming because Wolves is literally the worst team in the history of Premier League. So win.
I think
you
Wolves
are
are better than
knackered.
Burnley,
We
but
are
for some
knackered.
reason,
Come on,
the
man.
first-
There's only Burnley and Wolves, and maybe West Ham.
Anyway,
Who are-
let's do
who are
what
underachieved.
Geordies do best, right? Stick together, look after our own, go in tomorrow, beat Spurs. No, we want this, Chris. You want this as well. Everybody wants this. Get the
course.
violins out, right? Let's get the Geordies uniting. Let's take down Spurs away from home, right? 3 points in the bag, fly into Villa away. We'll be flying, man. You just wait. I mean, I'm regretting saying this as I say it. But look, I'm getting Chris. Chris has got his black and white scarf out. He's coming over for a pint. He's going to be in this.
Kevin King is Black White Army. Boom, boom.
I love it if we beat them.
Kevin
Eddie
King is
Howe's
Black White Army.
Army.
Kevin King is Black White Army. Well, not
Wow.
Kevin King, but King. I would say King Kev so you can get
Take him
that.
down. Take
King
him down.
Kev's Black White Army. Oh
You're
my
right
God.
first time.
Hey, by the way, he can certainly get it. He can turn it around. Anything can happen. Iran can win the World Cup, of course.
No
as
chance.
Roy was saying, he can turn it around. But the thing is, he has to make for his own sake. Because to be honest, I listening to Eddie Howe, and it is sad sometimes. It is sad, man. It is sometimes because you feel like he's broken. You feel like the pressure is there. You feel like he can, he feels it. He knows, man. I mean, Mad Dog. I should have taken a picture with him when I saw him. But he is at the pub. He's taking care of the bit. He's doing the books and the laptop. But Eddie Howe is, the pressure is up to his neck. So I feel bad for him. And you listen to him on the pressers, and you can feel the anguish in his voice. And so I feel bad for the bloke because he's a top lad. And to be honest, his history with Newcastle will not be tarnished.
That's why I want him to succeed.
Unless
Imagine how
something
much it would mean
catastrophic
to him.
completely happens.
If it somehow turns it around, it would mean so much to him. So
Yeah, and I think it can happen. It can definitely happen.
He's done it before. I trust him.
Not like
I
this
think we
though.
beat
Yeah,
Tottenham.
not like this.
I think we beat Tottenham. I think we beat Villa. I think we beat Karabag, and things look a lot different if we're coming to play City on 3 consecutive wins. Maybe with Joe Linton coming back as well to go there. I mean, that is a big thing that's affected us. We've had injuries, but we've had injuries with key players, more key than there were 2
even
years
same
ago.
position. hasn't
Possessions,
it?
really, that was the
Everybody
thing.
in defence has been injured, and it's just like, wow, at least
I
spread
just
it out throughout the team.
Started
like
off with the
what-
strikers and then
Absolutely.
at the defense.
One thing I like, again, I think it's a good thing that Eddie Howe is coming out a little more aggressive, a little more claws out, clamping his seat, clamping himself onto the seat. This is my seat, and I'm the right man for the job. Win now thinks it's a bad thing, which is sad. But I think I like this. He needs. You know what? I would love if he came out with one of these.
I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that. We have not resorted to that. But I'll tell you, you can tell him now. Be watching it. We're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
I mean, he needs to come out and give you something like that. You know what I mean? Or even do I mean, Bobby Robson didn't get angry a lot, but he got angry a few times. So just got a little just vein popping statements. Something like that would be good for him. And I thought that this attitude that he's showing lately might be due to the pressure, but it is coming out. It's
not
good.
his
it's good
style, sadly. Not his style.
Yeah. So I think it needs to. Let's go with some more comments before we to continue the conversation here before we go. We've got about 9 minutes left, ladies and gents. Foxy, we read Foxy's as well. The Barkers, Robson finished 5th the year following Chelsea's takeover. Chelsea spent the most amount ever before that in the window before we sacked Bobby. After 4 games. we're well beyond 4 games, says Barkers there. He also says he's paid to get results. I don't care what happened last season or the season before. There you go. Steve Waldo, fans would probably take performances before results to get us back on track. I mean, if you saw the team absolutely decimating, outplaying Tottenham and all, you hit the post and you're trying, fans wouldn't be upset. Fans would be, it's a bad day. I mean, it's bad luck. It didn't go in. But you wouldn't be booing or whistling.
I think Newcastle fans would
been doing.
No, man, get out. Win. I swear, man, you're about to. Man, sometimes I just wanna be right there in the Gospel Empire again. So I can.
You hate the XG and the XP. XP were 4th.
XG, XP, man. What is that, man? See, that's a football. Is spoken in Latin nowadays, man. XG, XP, X plot, X all of this, man. So, you mean?
We're not
football,
scoring
man.
the goals we should be scoring, and if we were, the points would reflect that, and we're conceding more than we should be conceding.
It's been a hell of a lot worse in the past. Crisis. This is not a crisis compared to anyone who supported Newcastle over 6 years. Crisis.
Dan Snowden, sir, I'm calm is to him leaving now or summer. So he's calm as far as him leaving now or the summer. So as long as he moves on, because he's simply not the level. Well, I guess that would be where I'm at the moment. Super chat there now coming in, and what's the super chat saying there on the YouTube side of things? Win. Hello. 1, 2, 3.
Good. Benjamin.
Said it after Man U.
Top of the league.
Said it after Man U. By the way, hey Benjamin,
you got to and get Eddie out. How can he spend that much money and make us worse? Am I right, Roy?
Yeah. Oh, I said that after I made my mind up.
Wait,
after
what was
the
that? Let me see.
game.
Show that comment again. I gotta verify something. All right, Benjamin Maven, you gotta be a member to participate in the prediction tournament. So you better become a member, or else you'll go to the second place. You better become a member. I'm telling you now, because I haven't been checking, but you're not a member right now, so you better become a member so you can. Everybody that participates.
We relaxed that rule at the start of the season.
Can I quickly add about the money thing? A lot of the money in terms of Bruno Byrne and stuff was like the first phase to kind of keep us up and make us stronger to compete probably in the top 8. The money we've spent in terms of trying to stay there has only been the summer transfer window. Tuna has a question. How many players do we need as a minimum? Has a question. So,
well, that depends on how many players can recapture the sort of form that we know they can have.
It depends where do you want to go. How many players do you need to be top 4 or top 6 or compete for the league?
Champions League, probably three or 4 first teamers, and then maybe 1 or 2 squad players. Champions League regularly.
Right wing, centre midfield, centre back, and maybe right back.
You're not factoring in we're starting with 5 or 6 contracts anyway. They're all going to need to be replaced.
I
You've then
think
got
we need
young
it,
kids
yeah.
on the bench who
Tonali
aren't getting
will
played,
be
so
gone.
they're going to have to be. They're going to have to be replaced. The young kids that can't get a game won't get a game next year either. So we need a right back and a left back up just to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
I think we might have to sell more than Tonali.
Oh my
Who
God!
will give us 55 for
Don't
Wissa?
tell me that, man.
If he doesn't want to be
Wissa-
here,
But the thing is, Wissa,
Yep.
we knew there's any sensible fan with half a brain knew Wissa is just Wissa, man. That's it. Nothing great, nothing bad. He's a backup striker. Wilson replacement, exactly what you needed. Some people here, and this channel in particular, made him a lord. And he's nothing of the sort. He's just another 5'9", nice little striker.
Yeah.
But he's nothing to, nothing crazy. Pop Max, this how is hollowing out the value of the squad over time, replacing DOF Flair with how garbage replacement. Oh, I had a brain aneurysm trying to read that one, but excuse me. DXX, what would we all make of a 1-1 draw? Damara. Oh.
Step in the right direction.
Oh wait.
Point away.
Man, it would. I don't know.
I think a draw tomorrow is not good for both teams.
I would take it rather than playing really well and losing.
But
I really think
who would
we ought to. We could play it differently and win for sure.
With win, we were going to go to Mars for that statement. Now with you, we're going to go live in Venus, because who chooses a defeat over a draw, man? How? Wait, but what I think
that's what was spoken about before, Chris. Sorry to pull you up on it.
Yeah,
somebody was saying they think the fans would take a performance over what a result was.
No,
I'd rather be ground out a 1-1 draw than play lovely flair football and lost.
Well,
we get the results now.
Give me a terrible 1-0 over a fantastic 4-3 defeat any day of the week.
Yeah, I'd rather have 3 points.
Certainly, if you've got, certainly you need. I think we need 3 points, but I'd take one rather than none. That's all I'm saying.
If we win,
and
if
the situation that Howe's in, Howe cannot lose this game really. Otherwise, the pressure is so much more on the FA Cup and the Champions League. This is the league. He needs to get something in this. It will help improve the confidence of the players. They don't need another defeat. They've lost the last 4.
Well,
they don't need to play really well. I mean, we played superbly well for 35 minutes against Liverpool and lost 4-1. Nobody got any confidence out of that game, despite the fact that that's the best 30 minutes I've seen us play at Anfield, and I've watched us since the mid-70s.
Yeah, but I think the other 60 minutes were so draws that made you forget about the first 30 minutes. So it's a balance, and I feel like with the team,
like I say, that was a negative image of the PSG game where we got battered for 20 minutes and then played them off the park.
Unfortunately, with the team, there's doesn't seem to be much of a balance.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Toon Assassin saying,
last but
what
not least,
you guys have lost the plot. We have 7 players out of contract, plus Sandro, Tino, and maybe Gordon. 10 to 11 players we might need.
Anyway, we gotta go, ladies and gents.
We want to be replacing Murphy and Willock as well for starters.
We should have sold Willock now.
Well, we didn't. We gotta go though. But tomorrow, match day, folks. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Match day coverage all day long. Not all day long. I mean, you get the point. Tomorrow, join us away at not White Hart Lane no more. What's it called now?
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Hotspur Stadium.
Where Newcastle will win 2-1.
The Chicken Stadium. It's a chicken stadium for the chicken, the mighty win. You know what I mean? Perfect for each other. So
toilet bowl.
Maybe they'll mean the win. Anyway, folks, see you on the next one. Take care and bye-bye. Thank you for all the super chatters and everybody that's commented. Thank you very much indeed. We'll see you on the next one tomorrow.
How are the last